I'm going to go live on, I'm going to stream lesson 1 on
Yeah.
YouTube as well. So I'm just in the process of doing
Yes,
that. And then
Sarita, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Tamanna. Nice to see you on here.
Yeah, same here.
Nice to see you on here.
At
Right.
work, but I don't want to miss.
No, that's fine. Oh, bless you. That's commitment.
Yeah.
That's commitment. Okay. So welcome everyone. And I'm sure there will be others joining us shortly. And I'm going to try and share my screen so you guys can just see where we are. Okay. So this is a weekend intensive for everyone that has joined, but lesson 1 is free. That's what we're streaming today. And I just wanted to let you know, first of all, welcome on board and just sort of say, we begin our journey here. We're at the bottom. I've just launched Manifestation Mastery, and thank you so much, both of you, for joining me today. The journey looks like this. So let me just show you. I will be introducing chakra alignment, weekend intensive, money mastery, so that you can handle money situations and build your wealth, relationship mastery, again, ensuring that we live a wholesome life with relationships. Remember those 4 pillars that I talked about? So this is like covering bits of those pillars. And then we've got healing, because without healing, you cannot manifest. If you're holding on to grudges, you're holding on to things, you're not able to then move on. So it's reducing that resistance and energetic healing. And then living in alignment with neuro-linguistic programming. So these are all tools that we use to be able to move forward, live an aligned life, and also then be able to manifest what we want. And together, this forms the basis of the wealth code. So again, I'll just reiterate well-being, and that's mental and emotional health. And we've got E, which is energy and emotions. A is abundance in all areas of our life. L is for loving relationships. T is for transformation. What is our purpose in life? H is harmonized living. And then you've got the code. It's through conscious awareness, because I know I've done this many a time. We are manifesting from an unconscious state. You don't realize what you're doing, because this is just the way we are. We have a veil over us. And through open energy, and that's where the healing comes in, the EFT comes in. We remove that resistance. We do that on a daily basis. Deep programming, again, through subconscious programming. Changing the way we think, changing the way we believe things, changing the way we do things on a day-to-day basis. And of course, all of this isn't going to be possible until we embody this on a daily basis. We change the way we operate on a day-to-day basis. And all in all, this creates an identity shift within us. So you are then no longer the person that you currently are. Your patterns, your behaviors, your emotions, your beliefs, they change over time. Slowly, slowly, we put these into action, and we become the 2.0 or the 3.0 version of ourselves. So this is the journey that we're on, and that's the journey that we're going through. So I want to make sure that you've got a pen and paper ready just to make notes, and a water bottle. I'm going to say that to you, and I haven't got my own water bottle here in front of me, so I'll get that in a short while. But make sure that you get a water bottle. It's really important to keep yourself hydrated, and also a notebook, pen, just to make notes so we know. All right, so I'm just going to give you a couple more moments if you want to go and get that. Okay. And while you do that, I'm just going to sort of say, we're all here on earth. We've decided to come on earth to learn lessons. And those lessons we keep repeating until we learn from them, we change our ways, and we change our identity. Because as they say, there's a famous quote, I can't think who said it, but we don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. Okay, I'm sure you've heard that. So if you're continually living from the state that you currently are, then nothing is going to change. And this journey, I have created this framework that I'm running through is created based on my learnings from my mentors, but also from my own journey, because I unconsciously manifested a multi-six-figure business, only then to sabotage it. And that was because I was running on old patterns. And through this journey, I've been able to align myself and recover and then move to a path of growth, this time without sabotage. So that takes me nicely onto the next slide. Okay. And the next slide is the map of consciousness, David Hawkins. So we've all been programmed from our life situations, our experiences, and even the imprints from previous lives. This causes us, a lot of us tend to live in the lower consciousness states, those states of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. And this becomes what we call our baseline nervous system. Okay. And this creates also our frequency, what we emit. If we go back to the Heal and Manifest 4-day challenge that I did, I've talked about that. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says that our personality creates our personal reality. So these states that we live in, they define our life until we become conscious, awaken, and we change ourselves. And when I mean change ourselves, remember we talked about dose and adrenaline, cortisol, changing our biology, changing our physiology, changing our state, and changing our psychology, our mindset, our programming. So we're going to be working on all of these to be able to move from these low states in red to be able to then move up to the higher emotional frequency states. So those are reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. I mean, enlightenment, that's a really far goal to achieve, but it's nothing that's not possible. So, and again, I fluctuate between these. Just because I'm a coach doesn't make me any different or any, more superior. I fluctuate between these states, but it's practicing on a daily basis and embodying that action so that we can move from one state to the other state. And with that, I'm just going to explain this in terms of brain waves. So let me explain to you. When we're living in the states of fear, shame, guilt, we are operating at a beta frequency. But that beta frequency, now as you can see here, beta frequency is between 12 to 30 hertz. Okay. And the beta frequency that you're living in when you're in those states of fear, shame, guilt, apathy, they are at the higher end of the beta state. What we want to do, that leaves us in a very alert state all the time. And that's when you find your muscles are quite tense because that's how you're living. what we want to do over time is bring those beta states. So we're living at like the 12 to 20 range. And then you will find that you soften on a day-to-day basis. The alpha state is when that's when your subconscious mind is open. Just as you wake up in the morning and just as you go to sleep, those are the two windows. You fall into alpha, and then theta is when we do visualization, we dream, we're in deep sleep. So hope that makes sense, and I just wanted to put that there for you so that you understand our brain states. And when we do the alignment accelerator, I always try and bring you down from your high beta state into the lower beta state. And then when we do the visualization, into the alpha state, so that your mind, your brain waves calm down. Your then subconscious mind is susceptible to the new information, the new programming. That's what we do on a daily basis in the alignment accelerator. So that's what we do. And then in the beta state, also, I just want to point out that this is, like I said, you're operating from survival mode in this state. When you're in high beta, it's normally a state of survival. And at this point, because our mind in our brain, we have this part called the amygdala, and it's a very small part in the brain, but that is what is it sort of looks out for things that are going wrong. Okay, and it keeps us in that fear state. And although we need that there, because obviously if there's a line in front of you, you're going to run, you're going to do what it needs. You're not going to just stand there and just be the prey to that lion, or there's a road, you're crossing a road and there's a vehicle coming. You're going to wait. So it does serve its purpose, but a lot of the time, what we tend to do is live in that survival mode where the amygdala is constantly looking for fear. And this is that survival mode we want to step away from. Because when you're in that survival mode, again, you're living on high cortisol, high adrenaline. Your nervous system is so irregulated, which means then you're not able to, you're living in those survival states. You're not able to then manifest. And when you're in those states, you can be doing affirmations, you can be doing vision boards, you can be doing all sorts of manifestation programs. It's nothing is going to work because you're in that survival mode. We need to come out from that survival mode to then going into manifestation, creation, thriving, which is a calmer body and calmer state of mind. That takes me nicely onto my next slide. And here, I'm just going to show you that we've got again, Hawkins chart, and we've got a tree. So I've shown you the tree. Now, when you plant a seed in the ground, whether that's for a tree, whether that's for a flower, the roots will grow fast. You water it, the roots will grow fast. Now, I'm going to just use that tree as an analogy of you, an analogy of us. When we are young and societal conditioning, things that happen around us, our parents, our teachers, caregivers, friends, peers, we get conditioned, okay? We have situations occur in our life that can cause emotional trauma. That's in our childhood. We can suffer financial loss, and that could be later on in life. Relationship breakdown, generational trauma could be there. We could be suffering with betrayal, negative experiences. Now, all of these damage the roots or don't allow your roots to be formed the way they should. And as a result, you're not going to get the good apples. You're not going to get the good fruits because you haven't got strong, healthy, nourishing roots. Yeah. So you're going to then produce rotten fruits. You're going to create a life which is what you may be living in now, survival mode. And then your um, that affects your health, relationships, career, and money. How? Your health might be suffering. You may end up with disease, emotions are stuck, mental health issues. In relationships, you might be angry, fearful, irritated. And you're then passing down your trauma to the next generation, which is then causing generational trauma. In your career, you could feel stuck, self-doubt, you're procrastinating, not taking action. You're always wanting to maybe control the situation, or you end up in doing too much and burning out. And that was me. I burnt out with my last business. I burnt out. I was sort of stuck and got to a certain stage. And again, I wasn't able to hold money. So, overspending, living in lack, living in scarcity, wrong investments, living paycheck to paycheck. How many of you are doing that currently? How many of you can relate? Let me know in the chat. What can you relate to? Is there any of those situations? Any of those symptoms that are showing up in your life? Let me know. And then, as we shift to the higher states, we shift to acceptance, willingness, love, peace, joy. You're then going to experience better health, better mobility, better energy when you're doing things. You find you'll be able to easily forgive yourself, forgive others. You're then living in a state of gratitude and love, respect. And in terms of your career, business, whether you're working, those opportunities will come to you. The growth will be there. You'll have clarity on where you're going, what you're doing. Your intuition is better. And as a result, you're generally living a wealthier, more abundant life. Hope that makes sense to you. If anyone has any questions, let me know in the chat. Okay. Excellent. Give me 1 second. Just have to move that off screen for a bit. Okay. And now I wanted to come on to what we need to do to be able to shift from the lower states to the higher elevated emotional states. And this is where living in alignment comes in, because we've got to make it a daily way of life. You can't just do it one day. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't just brush your teeth every day. You don't just bath yourself every day. You carry out certain rituals, even to nourish yourself. You drink water. You eat food 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day to keep your energy levels higher. And in the same way, there are rituals, there are certain things, practices, a lifestyle that you have to embody to be able to maintain a lifestyle where you are in creation mode. You come out of those survival states. And those are things that you need to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. without fail. So I'm just going to go through these bit by bit. So firstly, healing through Ho'oponopono. Okay. We are, like I said before, we are an accumulation of our past thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions, what I call TEVA. And not everything we have done is right because, like I said before, we are here to learn lessons. Okay. And these thoughts, emotions, beliefs, they form a part of our energetic field. They create the reality of who and what we are today. So those feelings of guilt, fear, if you're handling money, those feelings of resentment towards people in your lives, your partner, your parents, these are what become your energetic blocks. And they then stop you from materializing the life that you want. And they can also cause disease. So we need to clear those from our energetic field. How do we do that? We clear it through Ho'oponopono. Very simple, practical routine. And you can just chant it as and when. 4 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And the best way to do it is we have these situations every day, day to day. Could be someone said something to us. It could be something that's happened. You've got to be, this is where consciousness comes in. You've got to be aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking. And that's the first step, is bring that awareness. And every time you experience those thoughts or your emotions, you're going to catch it and you're going to say these 4 phrases. Because that's, you put the intention there, you say those 4 phrases. And over time, that emotion, that charge, that memory will weaken with these 4 phrases. So they are really high frequency words. So this is something that we do day to day. Okay. And if you want to look at the proof of this work, you need to look at the work of Dr. Hugh Len. There's plenty of information out there. He worked in a psychiatric ward within, I think, a year to 2 years. He did this on mentally ill patients, and they had to close down the ward because those patients, they recovered and they moved on. So and all he didn't go and treat them. He didn't see them one to one. He literally did this. You're healing yourself. You're forgiving yourself. You're not healing the other person. This is all about you. Even forgiveness. Sometimes you might be thinking, why do I need to forgive that person? No, because you're carrying that resentment. You're carrying it within your energetic field. The idea is to clean your energetic field. So that's number 1. Number 2 is healing through breath work. Now, what happens is we all know the law of gravity, okay? And the law of gravity has got a thing, it pulls things down towards the ground. Yep. So if I were to pick something up and drop it, I'm not going to drop this, but if I were to let go, it will drop. And why? Because the law of gravity. Now, the same thing happens with our emotions. Now, what happens? They get stuck. So you've all probably heard of the chakra system or energy centers. So we have at the base of our spine, they're located from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. We've got 7 main ones. So I think there's 114 in total, but there's 7 that we focus on, and that's where everything connects. Now, when we feel emotions, what tends to happen is they get stuck in the chakras, okay? And with gravity, that gets pulled down. So when you're experiencing those emotions of fear, shame, guilt, they get stuck in the bottom 3 centers. So that's your root chakra, that's your sacral chakra, and that's your solar plexus chakra. And as a result, you're probably going to find is you're living again in those survival states, having scared to take action or not being able to take action, not having good relationships, not having confidence, self-doubting yourself. And not only that, it can also cause physical uh, um, physical disease. So when you think about, you might have problems with your bladder, you might have problems with your bones, might have problems with your digestive system, kidneys, that all sits in that region. So how do we release these emotions? Now, if you think of yourself as a water bottle, okay, a water bottle, and say you've got some mud or some dirt at the bottom, okay, which is, think of ourselves as that. Now, that energy is the dirt that's sticking at the bottom of that water bottle. So how are you going to get that out? And it's through breath work, okay? So what we're needing to do is push the energy up from our lower centers and up to the top. And I do this every day in the Alignment Accelerator. So if you come with me, the first exercise that we do after moving and dancing is the fire breath. I always tell you to breathe. We do 10 lots and we do 3 rounds. And what is that exercise for? Because when you're breathing, you're pushing those stuck emotions and bringing them up. And through your breath, you're expelling those emotions out. Okay, it's something that I've not explained before, but that is the purpose of that. And we can do other exercises, other breath work. Again, I do a couple of them in the Alignment Accelerator every day, and each one has its own function. So through this breath work, we are releasing our stored emotions. So again, it's really important to be able to manage your breath, learn to manage your breath through breath work, through what we do, even just calm your breath and just be, there's several techniques, the 4-4-4, the longer exhale, where you do the 4, 7, and 8. You breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, you breathe out for 8. And again, that's just to, in the moment when you're feeling anxious, feeling fear, it helps to exhale those emotions and calm down your nervous system. And again, you can increase your breath rate. There's so much connected with breath work. So, we need to be able to do that on a day-to-day basis and just be aware so that you can control your breath and regulate your nervous system. The third one is a magic water. So again, there is a lot of evidence. So Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto, he proved in the 1980s that water stores energy. Okay, he did this experiment with water in test tubes. With some of them had positive words like love, peace, calm, thank you, and those, when they were looked at and tested and observed under a microscope, you could see that they created beautiful symmetrical crystals. Whereas those of the negative words he used was hate, anger, evil. I think he used you make me sick. These created really ugly, deformed crystals. They were broken. So how does this relate to us? Now we are 70% water, right? And now you imagine yourself, if this is what happens in the test tube and we are 70% water, when we talk to ourselves, and we all do it, we say to ourselves, oh, I can't do this, or you're so silly, why didn't you do it like this? You know, we're talking to ourselves in a negative tone. We talk to each other in a negative tone. We always point the bad things out in people and more than the good stuff. So when we are, think we're absorbing that energy in our water, we're absorbing that into our cells. And so we're literally programming our body. Every time we drink water, every time we eat something that contains water. So how do we change that? How do we change that to magic water? We set an intention. So every time I pick up my water bottle or I drink water, I will put the intention of something nice, what I want to feel. Now, it's really hard to consciously do that, and especially at the beginning of a journey. Now, when I drink water, when I'm filling up my glass, I will put an intention into it. As I sip it, I will, put again, drink with that intention. When you're first starting out, it's very hard. So on my water bottle, I do this as well. I've got a paper with my affirmations on there. I have not just affirmations, but things that I want to feel, emotions that I want to feel. So I want to feel the love, I want to feel the peace, because you put that water in your water bottle, it will absorb the energy of the words, just like when Dr. Masaru Emoto did with his experiments. So if you haven't done that already, and after the break, I will show you my water bottle with my emotional words on there. Okay, put your affirmations on there. It will work. Do that at nighttime. Fill your water bottle up. Overnight, it will absorb the water, and then that's the water you're then drinking. And again, if you want to wash the water bottle, it's absolutely fine. Just carry on. So that's your magic water. And again, do that on a day-to-day basis. Okay, next one is cancel the order. Okay, so when we become aware of our thoughts, we realize that we are thinking negative thoughts. Okay, and think of yourself as Aladdin, and the universe is the genie. So every time you're rubbing that lamp and you're making a wish, every thought, every emotion you put out there, you're sending a command, you're placing an order to the universe. And you want the good things, but you do also think of the negative things. So again, it's about being conscious of what we're thinking, what we're speaking, what you were feeling. And we only want to put out the positive orders out there. So every time you think something negative, the idea is quickly cancel the order. Cancel the order. And that then stops you from going into that spiral, negative spiral that you would otherwise go into. And sometimes things don't work out correctly or the way you want it. And my mentor says, time, something goes wrong, it's time for double happiness. But again, twice the joy. Why not have twice the joy? So speak that out, because it will stop you from going into the negative spiral. And then let's move on to the alignment accelerator. So every day, 9 o'clock, Monday to Friday, I do cover the alignment accelerator, where for half an hour we meet, we practice bringing our brainwave states down, getting rid of negative energy that we've collected throughout the day, and set our intentions and visualization for our future life. So that's really important. Then the power of intention. So let me tell you what I mean here. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you to do this so that you can notice this yourself. So look at your hands. And as you look at your hands, you've got the two lines on your wrist where your hand meets your wrist. And I want you to place your two hands together, okay? And you will find that one hand is shorter than the other, okay? It's normal in everyone. And what we want to do is make, with the power of intention, we're going to make that one shorter hand longer. Just want you to look at it, focus on your hand, and just say to it, grow longer, 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 grow longer. We've done it 10 times. And now put your hands together, and you will find with that is the power of intention. Your hands are now both the same size. That is the power of intention. So if we can do this with our hands in just a short space of 10 seconds, imagine when we put an intention and when we put our focus on something, how much we can change things going forward. Then let's move to gratitude. Okay. So these are all now manifestation techniques. Some of the stuff we were doing before was healing. And gratitude is the frequency of receiving, because when you're grateful for something, you cannot be in a state of fear, in a state of lack, in a state of I'm not enough. Because when you're thankful for something, you're always saying thank you because you've received something, you've got something. And then the universe responds with, well, here you go, there's more. And that's what we want to be operating from. We want to be operating from that feeling, from the emotion of gratitude. And now, I tell you what I do. So every morning, when I wake up, I have a little journal by my bedside, and I will put 5 things that I am grateful for, that I already have in my life, and 5 things that I want to manifest from the future, and I write those down as well. And the idea is not only just to write it down, but to feel it, because I always say emotion is energy in motion. So we need to not only just write our words, but feel them. Feel why you are grateful for the pillow that you slept on, why you are grateful for the water, the breakfast that you've had. Why are you grateful for those people in your life? So that's what you need to do. 5 things so that your nervous system feels safe. And then we can ask for the things that we want, but in the present tense. So again, we're turning them into mini affirmations, and we're being grateful for things in advance of what they're happening. And then let's move on to the next one, which is affirmations. The affirmations, there's always a mixed bag. People say they don't work, but it's not about the fact that they don't work, because affirmations are neuroplasticity. Every time you affirm something, you're reprogramming your mind. And I always say we do the exercise in the evening as part of the alignment accelerator, where we speak out our affirmations. We tell the universe what it is that we want. But throughout the day, it's always important to affirm something. So even before I jumped on this call today, I affirmed that this session is going to go fine. Before you make a cup of tea, just say, I'm going to make a really tasty cup of tea and I'm going to enjoy this tea. Because you're putting that energy into that positive energy into everything that you're affirming. Because don't forget, anything negative that you say is also an affirmation. You're also affirming that negative thought or your negative emotion. So why not switch it to positive? I haven't got vision board on here, but again, vision board is another thing, because your brain understands in pictures. Yep. So by creating a picture like we've done in our vision boards in the Heal and Manifest challenge, your brain can start to relate to it. And this is what draws the thing that you require to come closer to you. Okay. This is the one that most people forget, is about taking action. So a lot of books out there, I know The Secret is one of them, where feeling is the secret. But it's not just about the feeling. You've got to be able to take the action to move things forward. We're living in a 3D world here. Things don't happen by magic. We have to take a certain amount of action to move the needle forward. They're really, really important. So we do this in the affirmations as well. Remember my 4-3-4 technique, where I always say to you to write, what actions are you going to take to make that happen? It's so that we program our minds to sort of say, yes, I've got to do this. And then by taking that action, you're actually being able to draw that thing into your life and make it happen. And then surrender and let go. So what does this mean? Because so many people talk about this. Practicing is the bit that they don't understand, and I didn't understand it either. So let me give you an example. Okay, go back to your childhood days, or even now. You're going into a restaurant. Let's use this example. You're going into a restaurant and you order the food off the menu. You order yourself a drink. Okay, so in effect, you've put your order out there, like you put your order to the universe. You're not going to then sit there and think to yourself and doubt, oh, I don't know whether they'll be able to give me that, or I don't know whether the food is going to appear. You don't do that. You surrender, you put your order in, and you just, the belief is there that someone's going to bring out your drink and someone's going to bring out your food. There's never any doubt. So why is it when we want things for ourselves, we have that doubt? We always think, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to get that. In the same way, that's what we need to learn to practice. Put the order out there, do the work, take the action, and then let go, surrender, believe and trust that the universe will deliver. Because if you don't let go, it won't happen. You're putting the energy out of lack, that you don't have it. And that thing is not going to arrive, or it's going to take longer to arrive. So let go, surrender and let go is learn to ask and then let go and let the universe do its job. And then we've got at the energy level, we are all one. So we're all connected. Okay, we're all connected. The world is a giant 3D mirror showing us the energy we put out there. Where does this energy come from? Okay, that energy comes from inside of us. It's what we radiate out, and that is what reflects back to us. Yeah. And because we are connected, that mirror will bring people, will bring situations that reflect back the energy that we're putting out there. So how can we change ourselves and our energies based on this information? So if we're all connected, then we have to accept that we all have good qualities, we all have bad qualities. Yeah, and that includes me too. That includes everybody here. We all have good and bad qualities, but we have to learn to accept, respect ourselves and others. Yeah, we've got to dissolve that jealousy. We've got to remove that irritation, remove that frustration. And that's, we've got to learn to forgive. We've got to learn to accept everyone as we are. So with that, what it brings me on to is an experience. It's a meditation. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Okay, so I can share the music with you guys. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to share some music. I just want to make sure that you can hear the music. And okay. You just turn the volume down slightly so you can hear my voice. Can you hear my music and can you hear my voice? Just let me know in the chat. Can you hear my voice and can you hear the music? Amazing. Okay. Ideally, we wanted a screen here because I wanted you to look at each other, look into my eyes, because this is where we're connected to each other. If you've got someone near you, look at them. Okay? Pick one person, and I want you to look at them, connect with them. And repeat after me. At the energy level, we are one. Come to the present so that you become together. You become connected through your eyes, through connection. Now I want you to feel connected on an energy level. I want you to realize that through this is not another person. It's another version of you. They have the same fears, the same thoughts, the tears, the same body, the same desire. Nothing is really different. I want you to look at that person and just tell them that you love them. Because at that energy level, we're all one. I want you to feel the togetherness and the oneness. You have that feeling with a stranger. You have that connection, just like they're one of your own. And if you now were to do this exercise with another person, do the same exercise with them, you look at them in the eyes, shift your attention to them. And again, you will find that it's just another version of you. Again, the same fears, the same desires. Just want you to be present to them and just say thank you. Okay. Open your eyes. Just want you to share with me what you felt with this exercise? Is it all? Who wants to share? How did you feel?
It was really nice, Sarita. I really liked it. I tears in my eyes. I got I got emotional, and I can feel another version of me. I just I can't put camera on, but I can see
Yeah.
your eyes, and I can feel my version of you. So
Yeah.
it's
And I
really
had tears in
nice.
my eyes when I was doing
Yeah,
this.
it was really nice. And even I
Yeah.
like that the one you doing that the hands things,
Yeah.
which amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I can literally see
Amazing.
the difference as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Amazing. Well done.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing them on that.
thank you,
Anyone
thank you
else?
so much.
That's okay. Serena, did you want to share? How did you feel? Not sure whether you can unmute yourself. Did you feel connected? Did you feel connected? Yeah, yeah. And that's what it is because, like I said, at the energy level, we are all one. So we need, so many times we talk about other people as them and us, and actually we're all here together. So this brings me to this section. Let me just share my screen again and just come on track. So this brings me to the end of this section. We're going to start lesson 1. So this is what our introduction is. And I want you to be able to embody these on a day-to-day basis. So all these things that I've spoken about today, I'd like you to put those into action. Bring your magic water in, your breath work on a day-to-day basis, your Ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Start taking action towards your goals. All these things, I want you to be able to do that. Okay, so we're going to do the first lesson of manifestation mastery. And I want you to understand your emotional state. Okay, so this is where your notebooks come in. And I want you to take a fresh page. I want you to identify some emotions, some negative emotions, not necessarily what you're feeling, just negative emotions, positive emotions. What emotions are there? So anger, guilt, hurt, feeling scared, anxious. What emotions can you write down in that negative column? Yep. Just fill out as many emotions and then positive emotions. Positive emotions like love and hate, guilt, innocence, fear, comfort. Do you want to write it in the chat or you want to speak out? Let me know. What emotions are you thinking?
Actually, I'm thinking stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck. And open is the opposite of stuck, isn't it? Stuck. And taking action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Any other emotion? Peaceful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Peaceful, loving.
Mm.
Confident is a feeling.
Yeah.
Joyful is a feeling.
Yes.
Carefree is a feeling. Then it could be frustrated on the other end. It could be feeling bitter, feeling humiliated, feeling scared, feeling rejected, feeling bored, feeling energetic, another positive emotion. This is just an exercise so that you understand that we have positive emotions, we have negative emotions. Okay. Then the next stage we come to is I want you to do this exercise. So in a fresh page, I want you to do this exercise from memory. Okay, so draw out this table, and I'll have those of you on the who've already joined onto the course. We'll have this as an Excel folder, Excel file, so you can work on this. But for now, let's do this on our notebook that we have. And I want you to think of those negative emotions, those positive emotions. Don't worry about the last two columns, just work on the first two. I want you to think, what do you feel on a day-to-day basis? So I've put from 6 o'clock onwards, that's generally the time I'm up. What is the feeling that you feel? Are you feeling anything negative? Are you positive? What are you doing at that moment in time? Have a think about it. Yeah. And write down what it is that you're feeling. Okay. And again, work through the different times of the day and what emotions do you feel. So from 8 to 10, you might be at work, checking your emails. What are you feeling? Or you might be stuck in traffic on your way to work. What are the emotions you feel? And what are you doing between 10 and 12? Maybe you're in meetings at work. Maybe you're doing something, your boss has asked you to do something if you're working. You might be at the gym. What is it that you're doing? And how are you feeling? Are you feeling something positive, feeling something negative? I want you to write all the emotions that you're feeling throughout the day. So at 12 o'clock, you're probably stopping for lunch. You're going out to the shops, running errands. Again, 2 to 4. What are you feeling? Maybe feeling resentful, lethargic, because maybe you've had a heavy lunch. You're waiting for the clock to go so that you can go home. What are the emotions you are feeling? 6 to 8, dinner time, maybe time with the family, time to think, oh gosh, I haven't done this, that, the other. What are the emotions you're feeling? Feeling unsuccessful, maybe, feeling frustrated, might be feeling sad, might be catching up with a friend over the phone. They've said something to you, feeling surprised, excited. What are you feeling? And then 8 to 10 o'clock at night. Again, what are you doing? Think what you're doing. Think what it's making you feel. So if you join me in the alignment accelerator, you're probably feeling calm, bringing your energy down, hopeful for the future. Yep. And then if you're up till midnight, 10 to midnight, what are the emotions just before you go to bed? You're feeling relieved, you're feeling excited for the next day. What is it? And you're looking at this as what you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. Not what you feel just once, it's what you feel day to day. How are you getting on with filling this tracker? Just let me know in the chat. How are you feeling? How you moved this on? Are we completed? How are we doing? Let me know. How are you getting on, guys? What's your dominant emotion? What are the emotions that you're repeating throughout the day? Can you see a pattern? Let me know in the chat what emotions it is that you're feeling. What pattern can you see? Is it a pattern of more negative emotions or more positive emotions? That's okay. And this is an awareness exercise. This is not, this is where we become aware of what we are thinking. And when I did this for the first time, I probably had, I think, about 90% negative emotions. Didn't have many positive emotions, but we can consciously change it. And the next lesson, we will show you how you can change your negative emotions to positive ones. And Tamanna, you've said overwhelmed, you're feeling overwhelmed. Is that the feeling that you're feeling most of the day?
Yeah.
Or is that, yeah, okay. Any other emotions?
Actually, only that, yeah, only stuck and frustration.
Frustrated.
And then overwhelmed.
Yeah. So, okay. So now, this emotion, that it's repeating.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring to your attention, because when we're feeling these emotions of stuck, negative emotions, frustration, you're not then feeling content.
Yeah.
You're not feeling happy. You're not feeling excited.
Yeah.
You're not feeling hopeful. You're not feeling the elevated emotion. So how are you then going to manifest your new reality? Because what you're thinking today and what you're feeling today is an accumulation of what you're experiencing today in your life is an accumulation of what you've thought over the last 2 to 3 months. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you continue with those emotions, you're going to end up manifesting the same situation in the future. So we don't want that to happen. We do not want to be taking our past into our future, because this is what happens. So this is why we need to become aware of our emotions. And we're going to then think of the missing emotions. What is it that we want to feel in the future? You want to feel, how many of you felt rich? Have you got rich? Have you got motivated on your list of emotions? Because how are you going to then manifest those things in the future?
Actually, those are, opposite to what I said, the frustration.
Yes, they
That's
are
why if
opposite. And
I
those
need
are
to
the,
clear that things, then I
yeah.
get.
So overwhelm, you need to change to clarity. You need to feel clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irritated, you need to feel calm, peaceful.
Hmm.
And we will work on those.
Hmm.
But this is an awareness exercise so that you become aware of what your emotions are, what it is that you're feeling. Because, like I said, we're bringing the idea of these exercises and this framework that we're doing is so that you become aware, and then you can consciously change your life.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the first step, is the awareness, because like I said, if you're not aware of what you feel, you can't change your experience in life. And this is generally why affirmations fail. Because those emotions, those elevated emotions, are not there. So you're operating from your nervous system of lack, of frustration, of negative emotions, of feeling stuck. That's your baseline emotional state. That's your nervous system operating in fear, lack. Yep. So whether you realize it or not, you're going to then manifest more of the same going forward. And that's, like I said, something that we don't want to do. So this is the awareness exercise that I've done many a times. I still do day-to-day basis, because there are times of day when I don't, I might be self-doubting myself. I might be feeling frustrated or irritated. Yeah. And when you become aware, you can then change things around. Okay, these are our patterns, these are our habits that we've built, and some of them you will notice that they go back to maybe your childhood days, and you're not aware of them. You're just living day to day in this unconscious state, and then you're thinking, why is nothing working out for me? Okay, so if we want a different life, what we've got to do is think and feel differently. Okay, so the first step is that awareness. Then the second step is to let go. Is to let go. Okay, when it shows up, okay, you want to stop feeling anxiety. You want to stop feeling negativity. Yeah. Just want you to, on this exercise, you've said mostly negative, you've said mostly, can you put a percentage to it? So if you've, say, got 10 emotions written down across the day, how many of them are negative and how many are positive? Just so that you know, like percentage wise. So 5 and 5, you've got 5 negative and 5 positive, then it will be 50%. Yep. If you've got, say, 2 positive and 2 positive, 8 negative, so you're 80% negative and 20% positive. This is what your current frequency is. Okay, this is a signal you're sending out to the universe. This is your dominant signal. Let me know. I know you've just said mostly, but what's your percentage? Work out your percentage. This is for you. This is your awareness for you, so you can change your life. Yeah, it's not going to do me any good. It's for you so that you know where you are and you can then monitor yourself in weeks to come. So you can change. You can say, right, okay, in 4 weeks' time, I want to be 80% negative or sorry, 80% positive or 60% positive, depending on where you are now. You can then set yourself a goal and say, this is where I want to be. So let me know in the chat, where are you, like percentage wise? It's really important to understand this because you won't be able to move forward. You won't be able to make that progression. Okay. Because don't forget, this is your emotional blueprint. This is your emotional tracker. It's your frequency. But emotions change. So you can change your emotional blueprint, yeah? From negative to positive. You can change it. You can interrupt it. There's tools, and I will give you those tools so that you know what you're doing. Okay? And the awareness showed you this pattern. And then this is where we start letting go. We start evolving. We start, doing things so that we can shift it. So again, okay, 90% negative. That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, when I started this, I was in that state of 90%. And that's when I sabotaged a business. I was 90% negative. Money is not going to come to me. They're not going to spend that money with me. Everything's too expensive. And I was just spiraling. One thought and it spirals you. And that's why I gave you that list, because when you notice that negative spiral, you can then say, cancel, cancel. You can then say twice the joy when something goes wrong. You can do Ho'oponopono when you're thinking something negative. You know, that negative emotion that you have. If you're feeling overwhelmed, a lot of the time, like Damanna has said, she said she's feeling overwhelmed. So every time you feel overwhelmed, become conscious of it. And then say to yourself, dear overwhelmed, bring that intention, because that hand exercise worked. So again, bring that intention to the emotion of overwhelm and just say, I'm still overwhelmed. I'm sorry I've got you in my energetic field. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. By doing that, you're removing the charge. And again, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. This is one tool. There are so many that I'm going to show you. There is a faster way we can speed things up. Okay. So what I want you to do is look at your list. I want you to read them out to yourself. Okay, because it's going to highlight to you what emotions there are there, what you have that's written down. Okay. And I want you to think to yourself, what is your situation right now? Where are you struggling? What's your problems? You have problems in your relationships as a result of these emotions. You have problems in your health due to these problems. You have problems in your career, not being able to manifest a better job, manifest better clients if you're running a business. Or are you not, overspending with your money, living paycheck to paycheck, not saving? Might be too scared because you're living in fear, so you're too scared of investing. Although, remember I showed you on that on one of the slides earlier. Okay, what are these emotions? How are they making you act on a day-to-day basis? And it will impact all areas of your life. Okay, do this exercise with me as I'm going through it, because that's the awareness. And this is for you. This is not for me. I'm not going to get anything out of this. But I want you to be able to bring that change into your life. Okay? And I want you to think, how long have some of these problems been going on for? When that realization is there, let me know in the chat. How long have some of these problems been going on? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, maybe longer? How long? How long have you been stuck? How long haven't you been able to move forward? Let me know in the chat. How long have you been stuck? Not just about manifestation, isn't just about business and career. Like I said, it's everything. Has your health suffered? What has kept you stuck? 20 years. Wow. That's a long time. 20 years of stuckness is a long time. Anyone else? Who else wants to share? How long have they been stuck? And we can shift it, but again, through the awareness, through the tools that I'm going to give you, we will move things forward. And yeah, health issues, money issues, feels like most of my life. Yeah. But this realization, it's so powerful, isn't it? Because you don't realize that those emotions have been driving your life forward. And until you don't change that, what we do, we put our logical mind, or we put our thinking cap on, our logical mind, and we look at problem solving. We look at, I'll do this and I'll get more money. I'll do this job and I'll get this. Or I'll take this medicine that the doctor's given me, my headache's going to go away. Or the paracetamol that I'm going to go and buy from Boots. Or we look at, money. Or I'll shift this money to here and I'll pay this off this month, and next month I'll handle that. Don't worry, these are things that we do every day. We're stuck in that problem solving mode rather than working on ourselves. We don't work on ourselves. And as a result, that problem solving mode leaves us feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, irritated, a feeling of like, oh, there's not enough money, there's not enough, I don't have this, I don't have that. Yeah. Until you did this, you didn't realize how extreme your thoughts were. I totally get you. I've been there, I've done it, and I still do this on a day-to-day basis, simply because you don't realize. Now, we've only done this from memory, okay? And in our next exercises, I will teach you what to do so that you can change things as you go throughout the day. All right, so we will do that in the next lesson, okay, where we learn to break. These are patterns that we've got. Like I said, the first session is awareness. The next session will be how do we break these patterns. And I think this is a nice time where we end this session. For anyone who's joining on YouTube, okay, I am just going to run through what I have in terms of this manifestation mastery program. So we've done a really, really important lesson here. Okay, we've learned what our emotional patterns are. And just like we've got these emotional patterns, we've got our thought patterns as well. That's a huge lesson in itself. Okay, this is just emotions. And until we don't start breaking these emotions and thought processes, they're going to keep driving the same actions that we do day in, day out. And they're going to keep keeping us stuck and not being able to manifest what we want. Okay, so if anyone wants to join the Manifestation Mastery Program, okay, if you've already bought it, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're sitting on the fence, you're looking at this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the recorded version of today's session, today and tomorrow. We're doing a 2-day workshop. Again, you'll be working through and you'll be working with me in a closed private group where we will talk to each other, where we will understand our patterns, we will break our patterns, we'll learn to do that. You'll get 30 days of my alignments accelerator. You'll get the heal and manifestation tools. You'll get lesson 1 of all the future lessons: the money mastery, the relationship mastery, the Ho'oponopono healing certification. You can heal yourself, you can learn to heal others. And that can become another income stream for you. Chakra alignment. So being able to move your energy through your chakras, this is a vessel. Okay, so we're going to learn to fine tune our vessel. And NLP techniques and neuro linguistic programming to change the way we think. Okay, you'll have ready-made audio affirmations from me in my voice, morning and evening, and you'll have vision board templates. So all of that, normally this whole thing, you've got lifetime access to the course. This whole thing is $4,995. That's the value. Today you join, it's at $147. Okay, so lifetime access. And if you want to click just the QR code for you to join. Let me just show you some of the lessons that we will be covering. So we've already done emotional patterns. We've identified them. That's only part of lesson 1. Lesson 2, we're going to learn how to break them. We're going to learn how to find your life purpose. We're going to understand your shadow emotions that you've been hiding from. We're going to understand and identify emotional conflicts. We're going to rewire your triggers, your trigger. We're going to become aligned. We're going to align our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, and actions. We're going to learn a way to do that, to be able to manifest things faster. Okay, we're going to break limiting beliefs. We're going to understand what our limiting beliefs are. We're going to then be able to break them. And we're going to look at life needs, life goals, and match them. We're going to look at how we suppress our energies, masculine and feminine energies. We're going to do soul energy work. chakra healing, activating the energy centers, understanding the energy flow from the root right the way to the crown. And we're going to end with integration. So we're going to do a huge amount of work here. And if you want to join within the next 10 minutes, the price is 147. Anyone wants to join, it's 147. Just go to the QR code and you can make the purchase there. Now, what I want you to do is let me know. I'm going to leave the chat open. What I'm going to do, if you're on YouTube, just bear with me. I want you to let me know and just put a comment under that YouTube video to let me know you've made that purchase, so I can send you the link for the next session, because it won't be, we're going to jump off this one for a break, a 10-minute break, and then we're going to come back in 10 minutes so that we can reconvene and move on to the next exercise. So with that, I know Tamanna and Serena, if you want to go off, have a break. It's now 10:57, and I will send you a link for the next session. We'll start back at about 11:15. Does that work for you? Just let me know in the chat. Does that work for you? Yeah, fine. Go and get yourself a drink. And while you're here, right, I'm going to just show you my water bottle. Here's my water bottle. And I've got my affirmations on here. I've got my feelings, my emotions, and what I want to achieve, so that this gets absorbed, the energy of this gets absorbed into the water. All right, so that's that. And I'm going to stay on just in case anyone does hop on from YouTube. I'll be on for the next 5 minutes or so. And I will see you guys. I'm going to send you a link. Just keep an eye on your WhatsApp, and we'll reconvene on the new link at 11:15. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All right? Amazing. So I'm going to jump onto the YouTube channel where I'm going live. I'll leave this up on the screen for now, just so that the awareness is there. It's very, very powerful exercise that we've just done, and the results that you're going to get from this, from sticking onto this, the results will be phenomenal. And it's so nice to be able to see that change in you, to see that difference in you when we go through this exercise. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to keep on for another 5 minutes or so. And then I will come off this. We'll end this call, and we will reconvene. Okay. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me. I know Tamanna and Serena are still waiting here patiently, just in case I give any more information, but there is nothing more at this stage. But I have worked with so many people, and I've managed to get them results where we've changed themselves, they've evolved, And as a result, the results in their lives have, they've materialized things that they haven't been able to because they've worked on themselves. That's so important. So with that, I think I'm going to myself go for a quick break as well. I'm going to end the call here. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to end the call and I will send you guys the link for the next session. And I'll see you in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 11:15. See you shortly. Take care, guys. Thank you.